They say the woods keep their secrets, but in the quiet backroads of Nova Scotia, one mystery refuses to fade. Two young children, Jack and Lilly Sullivan, vanished from their rural trailer home months ago, and despite a massive search effort, no trace of them has been found. What began as a frantic rescue has turned into one of the most haunting investigations in recent Canadian memory. Hit subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss verified updates as this story continues to unfold. When the RCMP first received reports of vehicles moving near the Sullivan property on the night the children disappeared, it seemed like the kind of detail that could change everything. Neighbors swore they'd heard an engine. Some described headlights glinting through trees. Others said the sound came and went more than once. But when police combed through every available camera along that stretch of road, nothing matched those claims. No dashcam footage, no surveillance hits, no trace of a car driving past the area during the crucial early morning hours. To investigators, that gap meant more than just a missing video. It highlighted a growing challenge in modern policing, separating what people believe they saw from what can actually be proven. The RCMP made it clear they are not dismissing the witnesses. Every account matters. But they also know memory can play tricks, especially at night in the countryside, where sound carries oddly and shadows can distort what people think they've seen. Without physical or digital evidence, no tire marks, no phone pings, no video timestamp, those reports remain unverified. It's not about disbelief, it's about maintaining investigative integrity. That's why officers continue to stress one key principle. Testimony without supporting data cannot outweigh hard evidence. In the world of forensic investigation, human perception is powerful, but it's also fallible. A misplaced sound, an echo through the trees, or even the hum of distant farm equipment can easily be misinterpreted. Police rely on things that don't lie: metadata, surveillance timestamps, and measurable traces. These are the anchors that hold up an investigation when public emotion runs high. This isn't indifference, it's discipline. Investigators know every rumor or theory that circulates online can derail focus from facts. They've seen how speculation spreads like wildfire on social media, twisting timelines and turning fragments of truth into viral narratives. That's why they repeatedly urge the public to submit any original footage directly to the RCMP rather than posting it online. Every digital file contains GPS data, timestamps, and unique coding that could confirm or debunk an entire lead. Once uploaded or edited, that vital data is often lost forever. In a case like this, one unaltered clip could be the missing link that cracks the timeline wide open. For now, the last confirmed, verifiable sighting of Jack and Lilly remains a single CCTV clip from May 1st. It shows a family at a Dollarama store in New Glasgow, roughly 24 hours before the disappearance was reported. That footage is crucial. It gives investigators a timestamp, a visual confirmation, and a geographic anchor. Everything else in the case branches out from that frame. From there, detectives have tried to map every movement, tracing phone records, checking gas station transactions, and interviewing anyone who might have crossed paths with the family. But beyond that point, the trail grows cold. The Dollarama footage stands as both a comfort and a frustration. It confirms the children were safe and accounted for on that date, but it also marks a moment before the timeline fractures. Without additional verifiable data between that trip and the morning their mother reported the missing, investigators are left stitching together a puzzle with too many missing pieces. The search that followed was massive, one of the largest rural operations in recent years. Drones scanned thick brush and riverbeds from above, while cadaver dogs and K9 units combed through dense woodland, guided by scent trails and shifting wind patterns. Helicopters hovered over isolated creeks, while hundreds of volunteers trudged through mud and tangled thickets, desperate to find any trace of the children. These searchers worked tirelessly under harsh conditions, often sleeping in vehicles or tents between shifts. For the first few days, every hour mattered. Search and rescue teams had to balance urgency with precision, covering as much ground as possible while preserving potential evidence. In the wilderness, that's no easy feat. Every footprint, every discarded object, every broken branch had to be logged before it could be touched. Then came the first physical discoveries, a piece of Lily's pink blanket tangled in a tree branch and several small boot prints in the nearby date. For a brief moment, it seemed like a breakthrough. The blanket matched one known to belong to the family, and the boot tread appeared consistent with a pair Lilly owned. But for forensic specialists, these similarities weren't enough. Contamination was a major concern. With hundreds of volunteers and multiple agencies involved, it was impossible to say whether those items had been there before the search or if they'd been accidentally displaced by someone trying to help. Forensic experts spent weeks examining the fibers, testing for DNA, and analyzing soil samples. But even if the results were promising, they'd have to prove the item's relevance to the disappearance, not just their physical match. Evidence, after all, is only as strong as the context that surrounds it. Now, as temperatures drop and daylight shortens, a volunteer organization called Please Bring Me Home is preparing to recheck the waterways and small creeks near the Sullivan property. These areas were searched before, but water levels, vegetation, and visibility changed with the seasons. The group hopes that shifting conditions might reveal clues that weren't visible in the spring or summer. Their efforts are careful, respectful, and coordinated with the RCMP. Police are welcome to help, but emphasize the importance of communication. Any new finds must be reported immediately, and nothing should be moved or touched without forensic supervision. In a case this delicate, even a single disturbed site could erase a tiny detail that connects the dots. Meanwhile, within the Sullivan family itself, emotions are raw and perspectives divided. Some relatives are convinced the children were taken, that this was no accident, no wandering gone wrong. Others cling to the belief that Jack and Lilly might have strayed into the wilderness and succumbed to the elements. Each theory carries unbearable weight, and both reflect the deep grief of a family caught between hope and despair. For police, though, the focus stays on what can be proved. The case remains open, active, and methodical. Officers continue to test forensic samples, cross-check digital data, and reinvestigate earlier witness statements. They are determined not to build a case on speculation, no matter how desperate the world is for closure. In the end, this story is about more than a single mystery. It's about the painstaking balance between emotion and evidence, between the drive to act and the discipline to wait. The RCMP's refusal to confirm the vehicle reports without proof isn't coldness, it's commitment. A commitment to truth, to the integrity of the investigation, and to the justice that Jack and Lilly deserve. The search continues, not just through forests and fields, but through hard drives, forensic labs, and the memories of those who might still remember something they haven't yet realized was important. One overlooked moment, one preserved video file, could finally bring light to what happened that night. Until then, the case stands as a haunting reminder. Truth takes time, and real answers can only be built on evidence that endures.